Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Single here and welcome back to our videos. So it's about time we update the top 10 legendary characters list. And in this list, I'm going to mainly look at the performance of those characters in raids and soul raids. I don't care about Arena and Champions Arena too much, but if you're looking for the best legendaries for Arena and Champions Arena, it's Darkseid and Collector Word Superman. That's about it. Now I'm gonna talk about them from a raids and soul raids perspective. Also from the perspective of free-to-play versus pay-to-win, because there's some artifacts that work far better on those characters if you have them, but you kind of need to pay money for them. I'm gonna structure the list for the free-to-play side of things, only mentioning when something would be different for the pay-to-win side of things. But yeah, all that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna start with a bit of a weird one, and this is an honorable mention. He's not in the top 10, sadly, because of the circumstances that he's in at the moment. So Grodd is a support character for the Batman Ninja team, and also very good damage there for the pay-to-win side of things, because he can do a lot of damage with Beta Club, Robin, and Brainiac. You've seen that a couple of times. He can be a support for anybody and he's still good at that. He can generate a lot of power, use the defense of the enemy. Problem right now is the team that he is in is not working, and it's not even his fault. It's Robin's fault. Robin lethal passive does not work at the time of making this video. So this sadly leaves Grodd just as a very situational support character, and while that's still pretty good, it's not enough to make it in the top 10. But keep in mind, if the Robin bug was not here, he would have been in the top 10. Now, Arkham Knight Batman is going to be on the 10th spot, and he does a couple of things. First of all, he's going to make your agility and tech characters be much tankier, and it's going to increase your hazard dot damage. The hazard dot damage increase is the main reason why he's here, because he's going to be a good support for Batman the Drowned because of that passive alone. And he's a very strong and versatile character himself, but he still wouldn't be on this list if it wasn't for... You don't really have to go out of your way to get this man, because he shares chests with Batman Who Laughs, I think with Zatanna, maybe with Arkham Knight Batman Robin King, I'm not sure exactly. But the thing is, you're gonna find this man in some chests with a very high chance to get him. And you're gonna get him at 3 stars very easily. It's a weird thing because it's a character that you could like not own, not have on your account, and still have the best possible damage and rates and soul rates, but at the same time you're most likely eventually gonna get him, and when you get him it's pretty good. That's why he's number 10. Coming in at number 9, I'm gonna start with the mention that for the pay-to-win side of things, this man is either the second or the third place, because what this man does, and he does the same thing for the free-to-play side of things, is he gives lethal attack damage to the team and he stacks it with this passive. And this is absolutely insane, by the way, for the pay-to-win side of things, because Beta Club works extremely well off of lethal attack damage. However, for the free-to-play side of things, he can still be useful and he can still be a very good support character for legendary characters, but he is not that insanely strong. And he's either number 2 or number 3 for the pay-to-win side of things, depending on how exactly you evaluate yourself, Mr. Freeze. If you see Mr. Freeze as more valuable than this man, then he is going to replace him. But nevertheless, he's a very strong legendary character for the pay-to-win side of things, and a decent legendary character for the free-to-play side of things. And you get him for free, he's got a challenge, so why not get him? Coming in at number 8, we have Manta. Manta is a very strong character, and if you mix him with Raven and you give him Dark Metal cards, and you get a proper Manta, a high star rating Manta, he's gonna hit that 2 billion damage mark in soul rates. However, there's a few problems with this. Manta and Mr. Freeze that we're going to talk about afterwards are gonna be kind of at the bottom of your priority list, because they are very demanding characters. They need gears, they need star rating. While you can get yourself a 3-star Deathstroke with no gears, and he's most likely gonna do more damage than your Manta that you just got and spent a ton of gems to gear up. It's simply the problem that he's not a priority and he's not a good thing to pursue at the start of your account. And even after you get him, it will be a long road to get him to his full potential. He's very strong, but he's also very costly and very pretentious. And yeah, he does damage with this passive. Gets more damage, actually not with this passive. Gets more damage the more he hits the enemy, gets a lot of damage from basic hits. And he is a bit better for the pay-to-win side of things, because he is very strong with the Jokerized Veterans, which is the pay-to-win artifact, but he's gonna do well for you for the free-to-play side of things anyway. Let's move on. Mr. Freeze is exactly in the same situation as Manta. Very strong legendary character, but he needs star rating, he needs gears, he needs a lot of investment to pull in work for you. The reason why he's above Manta is because of two reasons. First of all, you can drop this man from a soul rate, and second of all, I feel like his gameplay is a bit easier because he's got a puppet of Zatanna, and you put that on him and you just spam the second special, and it's the most brain-dead gameplay you've ever done in your life, and it's actually the most optimal gameplay. Of course, unless you have the Beta Club artifact, which is what puts him arguably in the second or third spots for the pay-to-win side of things, because him with Beta Club will deal tons of damage. You don't even need Brainiac with him or Raven if you have a maxed out Mr. Freeze. Classic Wonderman and Vixen will do. This man is absolutely insane, but even without Beta Club, he's pretty strong. But yeah, it depends on how you value things for the pay-to-win side of things between him and Brainiac. But other than this, that's kind of it for the differences between free-to-play and pay-to-win. But let's move on. Coming in at number 6, we have my boy, Rule of Conduct, Black Adam. I love this man. He does something very, very simple. Percentage hull damage. And he's going to do his percentage hull damage very fast. He's done with that, you tag him out, and you just go along with the rest of the fight. He can be added to literally any team that does not require 3 characters, and where you have a flexible support, you just drop this man and get a big chunk out of the enemy's health very, very fast, especially now that he has a very good synergy with the Twin Blade, where he does his percentage hull damage faster, and then you tag him out. See, the sad part is that his percentage health does scale a bit with the star rating, but 32 at 3 stars is still pretty good. Coming in at number 5 is Robin King, and this guy is actually insanely strong for the Batman the Drowned team because of this thing that gives you crit damage for Batman the Drowned, and then because of this thing which does percentage hull damage to the enemy. This thing is sadly a bit less versatile than the rest of the percentage hull damage that we're going to talk about, because he requires the enemy to have a Dark Metal team negative effect debuff on them. And you can accomplish that either by Batman the Drum passive, which is pretty easy, but if you want to use him outside of that team, the only option is to use Batman Who Laughs and then interrupt an enemy special using Crisis Energy to apply that negative effect that works for this man. So it's a bit weird with the percentage hull damage, but nevertheless the percentage hull damage is there, and he gives crit damage to the best character in the game, so I feel like because of that he deserves the spot. Robin King is kind of the best team for Batman the Drowned, and for the pay-to-win side of things, you can kind of go something like Robin King, Brainiac, and Batman Who Laughs, and you're still gonna have some decent results. But yeah, let's move on. And at number 4, we got the Batman Who Laughs. I would not put this man above Robin King or above Black Adam normally. But the thing is, right now, in the current state of the game, this 37% health that he's going to be able to take is more than that if you put the Twin Blade on him, because the passive works in a very weird way with the Twin Blade, where not only you're going to do this so much faster than usual, but you're actually gonna do more than this. I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's 37 of the opponent's current health, but you're gonna fight against the full health targets, and by the time this man is done, that target's gonna be at half health. He's absolutely insane right now, and that's why he's so high. In the future, if this bug gets fixed, just drop him below Robin King and below Black Adam, because with Black Adam, if he doesn't have access to this, let's say, bug with the Twin Blade, he's going to kind of do the same thing as Black Adam, but be less efficient about it, because he actually needs to use a super move on a 28 or above combo to activate the percentage hull, while Black Adam just tags in. But yeah, that's Batman Collapsed at the moment. Also, he doesn't need gears. Other than Mr. Freeze and Manta and with Brainiac, you kind of get the gears from the challenge. None of the characters on this list needed gears. Just Manta, Brainiac, and Mr. Freeze, and Brainiac could get them easily. Felt like it was worth mentioning. And in the third spot we have Zatanna. So Zatanna does two things that you already saw and you're going to see with another character. The thing that you already saw is going to be the percentage hull damage that she's able to do. 30% per battle, respectable. However, she's also going to be able to buff your characters up to plus 300% damage. And while this is not the biggest buff in the game, it's a pretty solid buff, and you can use her with any team. It's kind of like Black Adam, how I said you can pop him into any team that doesn't require 3 characters, only she, on top of doing percentage health damage to the enemy, is also going to buff your team. So she is amazing because of that. And yeah, we just kind of honestly lack support characters in Just Mobile, and that makes her fill a very niche role with this. And she's great, by the way, she doesn't really need gears. Let's move on. Coming in at number 2, we have Deathstroke, and yeah, this man is the strongest character in Injustice 2 Mobile at 0 investment. And by 0 investment, I mean with the 3-star Deathstroke with no gears equipped. If you're fighting a fight that has 2 billion health and you have the Nora Snow Globe artifact, which is a free artifact, you can do 1.4 billion damage with a 3-star no gear character. Because of this is going to be percentage health damage on an ability, not on a passive. Him and King have that with percentage health damage on abilities. Now, when you clone something with Nora Snowglow, because it spawns a clone when a character dies, that clone is going to get all the abilities but none of the passives. And both of the clones can do percentage health damage, and you're going to get some absolutely insane results. Though keep in mind, percentage health damage is going to be far more relevant from Heroic 2 onwards in soul rates. But this man is absolutely insane. The best character in the game out of the box. And coming in at number 1, we have Raven. She buffs stuff. And she's a bit better for the pay-to-win side of things, but it's still not the difference in the list because she's gonna be number 1 for both parties. This is everything that she does. Applies darkness, and you're gonna deal more damage against the target that has darkness negative effects applied. Stacks up to 5 times, and it's a very good type of damage. When you see at Zatanna, for example, she gives you damage buff, that's pretty good, but not great. This is the best type of damage increase that we have in the game, alongside with crit damage and lethal. This is going to give you damage against the target, and I'm not going to go into the in-depth into explaining how the damage is calculated in Just Mobile, just trust me, this is the way to go. Raven can take a mediocre character and make them be absolutely insanely strong. You have a ton of combinations with Raven. She's a very versatile support, and for the pay-to-win side of things, she can even be a good damage dealer. But all that being said, by the way, since this is the most recently released legendary character, John Constantine is not on the list. He was not even close to be an honorable mention. I'm very disappointed in him. He just doesn't pull the damage. I'm sorry. But thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!